You're listening to Season 5 of That's Life, the comedy podcast designed with your laughter in mind. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be entertained.
That's life.
And we're back. Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, you can hear us coming to you up in the motherfucker. I've got none other than Peter von Bredestein.
Oh, snippety snap, son.
That's
What's
right.
up?
He is coming to us live and direct via the Skypeness from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia.
That's right.
And after a long, exciting day, probably for him, but me, it wasn't a very long day because I woke up at like 3:30 and it was terrific. Because I had too long of a fucking night on Friday, but cigar time. But we're here, and it is episode 117.
Nice.
And we've got some fun, exciting stuff for you. Some mixed media reviewness. A lovely little bit from The Onion that was just too darling, called The Pros and Cons of Prostitution. And it's short, but it's just so damn funny. I was like, oh my God, I got to read this to Pete because he'll laugh his ass off. And finally, we got us a nice bunch of some weird news. But first, Pater.
Yes.
What is new with Pater? What's going on? What's happening? With this lovely young lady and stuff.
Oh, not much, because she keeps on having to go away with her family to places.
Oh, yes, there was all that stuff
weekends
happening.
at a time. So it'd be nice to see her and take things further, but it's taking fucking forever for that shit to happen. So, you know, it is what it is. So I impatiently await the time when we can actually, like, you know, spend time together and shit.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So the situation pretty much unchanged from last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just pretty much the same. Still, you know, we still talk pretty much every day. And
Well,
all
that's
that.
good.
It's good.
Well, there you go. I was supposed to work out last night, Pete,
Yeah.
but I've had to pussy out because I was so covered. I smelled like a giant yeast infection.
Yeah.
A hobo's yeast infection because I was just covered in rotted starch and awfulness and coder.
General grossness.
And even when I like tried to wipe myself down and I changed into my gym clothes because I couldn't touch my truck in the outfit I was in, I said, you know, I still smelled like a yeast infection. I'm like, dude, I can't go to the gym like this. Damn it. And, you know, by the time I got back from the gym, it would have been like 6:30 in the morning. I would have been all pumped up. Would have got sleep till like 9:30, which would have fucked everything up. I said, you know what, though? I'll go fucking Saturday after the podcast, do my thing, and then this way I can still go Monday when I have off, and I'm still on my schedule. So it's a win. It's still a win, Pete. I'm not pussying out. Damn it. And
That's good.
I'm thinking of adding another shoulder routine.
I'm thinking of adding another muscle.
A whole new muscle, Pete. I've just invented it. It's going to be a long, muscular tail.
Okay.
Prehensile, so I can use it to pick things up.
Right.
And stuff like that.
Slap people should the need to rise. Okay.
I know what you're thinking. Why not just get, like, dick muscles and just, you know, have use the dick as a tail? But then I couldn't really use it when people are around. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's why you have the tail, and, you know, that if being prehensile, it can help out with dicular type functions.
Well, yeah. I can do like.
Is that you're your own double-headed dildo?
Yeah, I can just be like, look, double penetration, huh? One guy, two things.
Two probis guy.
But I mean, like, you know, if you were like, hey, hand me that box, that pack of cigarettes, I could hand it to you with a tail, and provided you knew I had a tail, you would just take it like whatever. But you know, if my dick was prehensile, I couldn't hand you. It'd be like, dude, come on, dude.
Yeah, that's just
gross.
I mean, it's fucking.
How do you make a
I don't
sandwich?
think it's gross. I just think it's weird.
Yeah, it'd be very weird. No, it is gross.
It's not gross because I'm comfortable.
Well,
with just it's weirdness.
But it would have dick like
weird.
Moisture on it and dick.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it was a
and-
dirty prehensile dick, yeah, that's
Oh,
gross.
yeah. Hey, I would keep my dick clean. My prehensile dick. It hasn't seen a lot of action, so it's like pristine condition again.
See, there you go.
My dick is cherry. It's restored, Pete. I could like put it in a classic car contest for dicks.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like a Charger with a fucking 340 Hemi in it, man. It's fucking. My dick's hot. It's fast. It's got curves. It's getting weirder.
Stripes.
Oh yeah, it's got flames down the side.
Oh,
Yeah,
faster.
it's cool as shit. It's got the little fucking. Damn it, I don't know the name of it, so my joke just floundered and died, much like my dick. So, moving right along.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't get much info there.
No.
So I couldn't even help you with.
You couldn't help me with my dick jokes. That's okay.
Nope, I couldn't help you with your dick. Sorry.
Hey, no problem.
To remain unhelped.
Yeah.
Well, I had the opposite of fun and excitement at work last night.
Oh, sounds like you had a shitty day at work, like I did.
Sorta, yeah. We came into the machine being down, or my machine being down anyway, because of some electrical problem.
Wow, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. Yeah. So, machine was down since about like noon or 1 o'clock or something like that. It's hard to get a straight answer out of people. And so we're just kind of standing around, and it's busted, and they got maintenance over there, and our maintenance department is real bad. So
That's a union maintenance department, huh?
real bad.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
God, they suck. So finally, they call in a guy that used to work there who's actually good at his job, and he comes in and in 5 minutes gets power back to the thing. It's been down for 5 hours, takes him 5 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
And then after another 30 minutes, he actually figures out more of what the problem is and gets the machine running. So we run we run one job, and then it critically and catastrophically fails.
Ooh, CM.
All over the place. Every single electrical error that we've had in the past 2 months happened all at once last night.
Oh, lovely.
So we were down, and we were scheduled till 1 in the morning, and the good guy, they had to call in and pay retarded amounts of money to fix the thing. Had left like hours ago, so he wasn't around, and now it's like fucking. We ran that order. So this is 7 o'clock. It breaks for hardcore real again, and we're scheduled till 11, and the overall shift supervisor was told my department supervisor to let me and my co-operator go at 11 because there's nothing for us to fucking do. The machine has no power. We can't do what we need to do with it, so let us go. And then my supervisor's like, no, I can't do that because if they get it open, there's still ink in there that needs to be cleaned.
Oh yeah, dude, I hate, as a supervisor, I hate moments like that because it's like you feel bad because
well, see, the thing is, had there actually been any hope of that happening, it would have been fine. But what he wasn't paying attention to is the fact that somebody broke something on the corrugator. It probably gelled a batch, and or something wasn't going on. They weren't getting any starch in the corrugator, so all the idiot maintenance guys that couldn't fix my machine were over at the corrugator, unable to fix that.
So they stayed at the same level of inefficiency. They just moved their location upstream a little bit.
Exactly.
I see.
So they were over there till midnight 30. Like they weren't even working on my machine, which is why it made no sense to keep us. Like it made even less sense to keep us. It's like they're probably not going to be able to fix it, but they're not even over here working on it, which means they'll definitely not fix it.
Well, were you at least able to just loaf off for a little bit and get that easy money?
Oh yeah, we
Alright.
hung out and didn't do jack shit. Because like almost every machine in the place broke all at the same time, so it was a lot of we're just chilling. It's whatever.
Easy money.
It's just that it's Friday night.
Here's a gajillion other things you could do.
Yeah, pretty much. But like I said, the girl's off in the mountains with her family, so it's not. Yeah. I didn't really care too much because I was like, fuck it, it's easy. Like it is literally free money right now.
Yeah, you're just sitting in one place doing nothing, and they're just paying you for it.
Yeah, pretty much.
When
we had already cleaned everything that there was to clean like twice. So that was getting old. I had organized all my freaking dunnage, By like size and flute, because it was so bad.
I saw that video you sent me of what was it, a 5 or a 6 out? All these little sheets just dragging all over. Ugh.
6 out. Yeah, that was cool.
I was like, boy, that looks familiar.
Yeah, that's a fun thing to deal with.
Well, it's ironic because shortly after I saw that video, the same thing happened to us, and I was like, oh, wow. It's like, oh, it was an omen. But that doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, it was all right, but, been playing Final Fantasy, just kind of hanging out. Working and doing the usual. I really don't have... my what's new is pretty boring this time around. Not much going on.
Same here, and sometimes it's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
But you know what isn't boring, Pete?
You don't have... Don't you have what's... I guess you don't have what's new or something?
I don't. The gym thing was the only what's new I had.
All right. So what isn't boring, then?
I'll tell you what isn't boring, Pete. It's our mixed media review. Woo!
Whether it's movies, TV shows, video games, or books, we have the half-assed commentary you crave. It's Mixed Media Review.
Yes, that's right. You watch it, you listen to it, you play with it, you read it, maybe even jerk off to it, and we will jibber-jabber about it. Our Mixed Media Review. I saw some movies there, Peter.
Nice. I haven't seen... Wait, have I seen anything? Nah. Pretty sure I haven't seen anything at all.
I saw movies, and I finally got to see the end of... Because I was backed up on 3 episodes of Falling Skies for their the end of the series, the complete end. But first, I went to go see that American Ultra movie.
I don't even know what that is.
It's got Jesse Eisenberg in it, Kristen Stewart, John Leguizamo's in it, Bill Pullman.
Where he's like an accidental spy or
it's
like
a stoner
dude or something.
Yeah, he's like a stoner dude, kind of a stoner, not necessarily a loser dude, but just like a stoner guy, has a stoner girlfriend who he's really a government agent. Then the department in this department of the CIA gets new leadership, and he's like, all right, just kill this guy. He's an asset. Why are we paying for this anymore? We can't use him. Just kill him. And the person who was in charge of that project finds out this lady, and she goes to the town where he's at to activate him, to give him a fighting chance, basically.
Okay.
So it's directed by Max Landis, the writer for Chronicle.
Okay.
It was directed by Nima Nourizadeh. I'm sure I mispronounced that. An Iranian-British film director. He did some music video directors and a few music videos and commercials before this. His debut film project was Project X from 2012.
Oh, wasn't that really bad party movie?
Yeah. So I went into this thinking, this might be interesting because it's got an interesting mix. It's got Kristen Stewart in it, which is a mark against it, and an inexperienced director. But it was just an interesting idea to have a young, stoner guy and a stoner girlfriend, and then the stoner guy discovers, holy shit, I'm like Jason Bourne,
Right. Cool as hell.
It sounds like a neat idea, and I was thinking, well, maybe it'll be more like a comedy kind of thing. There's a lot of dark comedy in it. Now the tone is weird. It's not bad. Like a lot of movies will have a tone.
Right.
This sorta it was like a Calico Cat with its tones, because it did have some funny stuff in it, but it had a lot of dark humor in it.
Okay.
And it also had a lot of serious fucked up shit happening in it. It was interesting. It's hard to pin it down. It had a lot of cool action in it, and the action wasn't like action porn action.
Okay.
Except the action scenes would have like Jason Bourne thing, because it was like a stoner dude discovers he has these superpowers, so he uses them in like stonery sort of ways. So that was kind of cool. His drug dealer was played by John Leguizamo.
Nice.
Which was cool. I mean, he was funny in it. There were all these little neat things to it. The camera work was interesting. I liked the lighting, the camera shot, the look of the film was great.
All those things definitely help.
Yeah, and the storyline was interesting. Kristen Stewart was actually good in it.
Huh.
I was surprised.
She took a class or something.
I don't. Well, you know, the only shit I've ever seen her in are the Twilight movies, which were total and complete dren.
Right. Well, yeah, and the
writing is all.
Girl's not supposed to have a personality.
Yeah, she's a teenage girl in that who's vapid. The script is terrible. You know, what is she going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, when there's nothing to work with, then what can you do but give nothing?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, but she actually did all right. She played the stoner girlfriend believably, but not too. It wasn't like a hackneyed stereotypical like what peace, dude. It wasn't like that. It was just like a. You know, it reminds me of being like in my early 20s with a girl that smoked weed a lot, but it was still pretty cool to hang out with.
Right.
I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. And he was just like he couldn't leave the town because they kind of crippled him with phobias.
Okay.
And anxiety disorder. So every time he tried to leave the town, he got these crippling panic attacks. So it starts off where he has a trip. He plans a trip to Hawaii for his great girlfriend, and he has like a little ring, and he's going to propose to her.
Right.
And you know, he gets in the airport, and he's just collapsing, so they have to come back. And he feels so bad about it, and that's when the lady, the project manager, because he's working a register at a fucking grocery store that nobody goes to, and. She activates him there, and it just sort of spirals from there out of control. It wasn't a bad movie. I would say it's not a bad movie. I liked what Eisenberg was doing there. I think he portrayed that kind of a character, kind of like a stoner, normal, decent, sweet, soft-spoken dude with crippling social fears, really well. There was a lot of people fucking died horribly in this. So it was kind of serious. It was odd. I liked it because it was unique.
Interesting.
I liked it because it was unique. I would like to have seen it a little more. I would like to have seen him sprinkled a little Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas-ness in it.
Yeah.
Maybe worked like the drug use into his ability somehow that, you know, like anytime he gets high, he gets like super agile or something. Yeah. Or like he smokes weed to get over the crippling anxiety, and so he's smoking weed the whole time while he's doing this shit. You know what I mean? Like just a little
something like that.
Because that would have been really unique and neat to see that work its way into it.
Yeah, but that might have been even an idea they had when they were coming up with it, but you know, Hollywood would see that and go, "Oh, we can't give the idea that you get superpowers from doing drugs."
Well, I guess I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just saying that
just looking for a reason why they didn't do it. I mean,
why they wouldn't do something cool like that.
Yeah, it could have just been the storyline itself didn't really. But as so far as the story goes, the acting, the camera work, the directing. The effects were cool. The action was cool. I liked the way it ended. It was. It wasn't bad. It was. It was. If it comes on Netflix or on demand or something, it's worth watching.
Worth a watch.
Yeah, man. Rent it for like $3 or $4, and watch it. It really wasn't that bad. I was surprised.
Huh. All right. I'll give it a look because I mean that's all. I've seen a ad preview thing for it and was just like, eh.
Yeah, because they kind of market it towards like young stoner kids. You get the feel for that, like that's the direction they're going, but it's not a movie for them.
Right. And I was just like, man, that's a cool premise, but this fucking. It was mostly just for the cast. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, well, yeah, Kristen Stewart almost did me in, but when I looked into the director, excuse me, and the writer, and and the story behind it, and I started getting interested, and I was really bored anyway. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go check it out. And plus, I wanted to have something to talk about during our next mixed media review.
Also makes sense. I mean, that's legit.
I saw another movie where I was pleasantly surprised, Pete.
Okay.
I could not believe it. Sinister 2.
Yeah.
I went to go see it.
Okay.
Now, I've seen the first Sinister. It was like on Netflix, and I know there was no fucking in it, and it,
Right.
or anything inappropriate. So I knew Jenna, my teenager, she could watch it, and she loves horror movies. She loves watching horror movies. She gets scared by them, loves them. So we had seen it, and the first movie was first Sinister kind of dark, kind of a little unique-ish, but it just didn't. It just, I don't know. Ethan Hawke's character, not his performance, but his character in the first one, it just
Right.
wasn't that interesting. It was.
Didn't really grab you.
He's a writer. It's the family. It's in jeopardy. You know what I mean? It's been done so many
Right.
times before that that kind of just made it to me. But dude, I went to see Sinister 2 fully expecting it to be corny and cheesy as fuck, and couldn't have been more wrong.
Huh.
Holy shit! The brief synopsis, Carl, not synapsis. My synapsis failed, and I said
Yeah,
synapsis
right.
instead of synopsis. Following the events from the first film, a different family, which is a mother and her two sons, move into a rural house that's marked for death. When the deputy from the first film learns that this family is next in line to fall to the demon Bagul,
Whatever.
Shamil, Shamazel. He races before time runs out to stop it and save them from the same fate. It was now the lead character in this was James Ransoni. He plays the character ex-deputy so-and-so. Like that's actually his name, so-and-so. Like that's his nickname. They call him so-and-so because they say, oh, he's forgettable. He's deputy so-and-so.
Yeah.
But
that's funny.
he was kind of you remember Generation Kill?
Yeah.
Remember the guy that would drive the Humvee and was always bitching all the time? The one who had the theories that the
great
war
person.
Yeah, the war was over pussy.
Right. Yeah.
You know, we get these
Funny
guys
as hell on
laid, the fight's over.
that. Yeah.
Dude, this is the first like lead role I've seen him in. He really he did it. He managed to. He had sort of like a kind of like almost a shell shocked thing to him.
Huh.
Because obviously your version of reality is tested when you're facing off against supernatural
Shit. Yeah.
and evil. Yeah, and his response to it was kind of good. That he was drummed out of. He was basically lost his job because they couldn't pin the murders on him from the first movie because there was no real evidence, but he was the only guy around there.
Yeah.
But so they fired him anyway after they cleared him of the charges. So he actually became a private investigator.
Oh,
so
cool.
he could support himself, so he could investigate this Bagul fucker and try to stop him from spreading.
Ooh.
It was kind of neat. There was some actors in there and actresses. Shannon Sossaman played the mom. Roberts and D'Artagnan Sloan played the kids. Some guy I didn't know played the asshole ex-husband who's chasing the mom.
Face around.
Yeah, trying to get the kids, and he was a cop. He is a cop, and has all these connections. He's from a rural, well-to-do family. So like all the police are doing his bidding and shit, and they're harassing her, and she's hiding with the kids. So there was an element of tension there. Element of tension between her and ex-deputy so-and-so. It's isn't that ironic? I can remember that name.
That's funny.
But no, he kind of it was a different movie. I liked it better, and there were other themes of of being abused by parents because the boys were abused by the father, and domestic abuse that were in there that actually made it a richer story, added more more dimension to the characters. There was more at stake than just the Bagul. He was in it more than the other ones. It had a lot of creep factor in it, but because they're watching these like 16 millimeter movies, these reels that the other kids recorded of them killing their family, and so
From the other movie, or
no, these are just other
it's
kids.
just like fucked up crazy shit.
And once and the kids lose their innocence, and the Bagul gets his strength from that, and then the kid kills his family and records it, and then his ghost joins the Bagul, and they go on to the next house.
Ah, okay, I got you.
And so he was short-circuiting.
Kind of a cool concept.
Yeah, he was short-circuiting this, the ex-deputy so-and-so, so by burning down the house. Because when the next family moved in, or if they moved into the house, or the family moved to a different house, it would spread to the new house. Right. So he's just, I got the solution: burn the fucking house down. So he shows up to burn this house down because it's supposed to be abandoned, but the mother and her two sons are living there because they're friends of the family that owned the property, and they're hiding from the abusive husband.
Ah, okay.
So he's there ready to burn it down, and like she comes out yelling at him, thinking he works for her husband, and he's like, and he had just the right mix of sort of like a tragic thing, but you could tell he was still a human being because he had a little bit of comedy in it, and I just thought his performance was really unique and interesting. I don't know, there was just something about it. I really I wanted to see. I want to see this guy do more now.
Okay.
Because I mean.
The only thing we'd seen him in, or at least that I'd seen him in, is Generation Kill.
Yeah,
so.
he was great in that.
Yeah.
But he was kind of like the young hothead sort of guy.
Right.
And so it's you can see that he can play a variety of different roles as an actor.
I mean, yeah, that's what you want from an actor.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool. I'd be interested. He held the movie as a lead. He held the movie together, which is really what you want a lead to do.
True, very true.
And that was not that bad. It's I have to admit it was a more accomplished movie than the first. It was a sequel that outdid the original. How often does that happen?
Pretty infrequently.
Yes.
Yeah.
and as a movie cunt, I went into it expecting it to suck, and you know what? It's not bad. I would even say it's worth watching in a theater. That's paying the theater prices to see it. It was pretty decent.
Nice.
Pretty great, one might say, as they say up in Canada. But and the last not so great, but a really great series. I always liked Falling Skies. Some of the effects were kind of cheesy here and there.
Is that a Sci-Fi Channel one, or
no? It was
different
on Fox, I think.
Fox, okay. Because I know I've seen the commercials and stuff like that, but I've never watched it, so.
No, I liked it. I thought it was kind of cool. I watched the lead up in like the last episode and a half, like the last episode and half of the episode preceding the final episode. It just felt kind of rushed. It felt like, I don't know. There was this kind of thing, a neat story building up, and they just sort of slapdashed the end of it. It just sort of, it ended satisfactorily with quotes around the word satisfactorily. It's just that the rest of the series was so good that it just sort of seems, I don't know, just rushed. This is the end.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So, but I had to have some kind of cuntiness in our mixed media review, or it just wouldn't feel like a mixed media review.
Yeah, exactly. If you just liked everything, what the fuck would that be about?
What? Now, I'll have something more on this for our next media review, probably because of the way my binge watching works with Netflix.
Right.
But there's a new series on there called Narco.
Okay.
It's about, it sort of focuses in on Pablo Escobar, the 80s and the coke and all that stuff. It's neat. I have to admit, so far I've seen like the first episode and a half, and I really like it. It almost has a Goodfellas kind of feel, the way, because the first episode, the pilot, if you will, is kind of narrated by the DA agent who is kind of chasing him down, sort of thing, and he it gives it like, it reminded me of Henry Hill narrating over Goodfellas.
Yeah.
The way that was set up, and it was done not in an homage, it was done just using that method, but it just kind of felt like that, and that was an enormously effective movie. Goodfellas is fucking classic.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
That's probably what they were going for.
And I'm really enjoying it. I don't know any of the actors or actresses' name. I recognize fucking none of them.
Sometimes that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, dude, Netflix is knocking it out the park. I mean, if you think about Daredevil, it only really had the big bald guy.
What's his face? Yeah.
Played.
I can't remember his name, but
yeah, Mr. Big or Evil Guy or whatever his name is.
Kingpin.
Kingpin. Thank you, Pete. Yeah, he was the only really actor that I recognized from
he's
Daredevil.
been in other stuff.
But that was a great series, and I'm joining. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Is not Netflix. I don't know why I mentioned that, but I watched it on Netflix, so I got confused. Marco Polo is what I meant to say. Sorry. But Marco Polo, I almost recognize one of the actors, maybe two of the actors. But that was really great. So, Netflix, man. The fuck? That's awesome. Go Netflix, go. But, I'm liking it so far. I don't want to, get too much into it. But I'll have more probably by our next episode.
Cool.
And that, unless you have seen or played or read anything.
No, my media's hasn't been mixed at all. It's all been quite the same.
I just picture a box that says media
the new
on it.
Expansion came out, but
The what expansion, sir?
new Hearthstone.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I haven't really played around with it too much.
Oh, yeah.
It's still the same game. There's just cards.
There's a lot of shit coming up on the horizon. The Star Wars, The Old Republic X-Pack is coming out.
Yep.
Which
Metal Gear Solid 5 came out this past week, and I want to get that because it looks awesome.
Well, yeah, that one. Metal Gears are almost always consistently good and
though
awesome.
Konami is a piece of shit company.
They realize, look, if we're gonna get one thing right, it's got to be Metal Gear.
Yeah.
But what
from fucking over Kojima-san, but
World of Warcraft?
yeah,
Legion.
That's a game.
The Legion X-Pack, which is the next expansion for them,
Oh, yeah.
which will have the Emerald Dream in it,
Oh.
which is dash cunning, clever of them, because everyone's been, I think they've been saying, like the past 3 X-Packs, everyone said, it's going to be Emerald Dream, it's going to be Emerald Dream. And they're like,
because they were teasing about it since before TBC.
Well, they said one of the things they're having, the trouble they have with the Emerald Dream design-wise, is that it's the Emerald Dream.
Right.
And it's, it's just,
dream?
it's just all green, lush, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be what would happen to Azeroth without the Sundering, the Maelstrom, without any of the intelligent races there.
Okay.
Just a perfect natural realm. Just the way, like when the builders made it and said, ta-da, here it is. That's what it was supposed to be. And they said the design problem with that is how you design different realms and areas when it's all just, verdant forests and shit.
Right.
Which they could do, but looking at what they did with Northrend, with Outland, with
everything's got
Pandaria,
similar theme,
yeah, it's a theme, but I mean,
there's still a lot of diversity.
Yeah, everything has their own flavor. That's one thing I do like about Blizzard is even in vanilla, each zone had its own thing, and so when you go into a different zone, it has its own field. Terrace-Fall Glades. I mean, you can tell it's in the okay. This still has the feel of Lordaeron and Brill and all of that and Death Knell. But you feel like we're graduating into a slightly different area, and then it sort of gently bleeds into the Arathi Highlands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it sort of changes. But, I mean, there are some big changes, too. Like, when you get into the Badlands, you're like, holy shit, or Silithus. But that's later on. You're going into zones that are clearly defined into different areas. But I'm going to be... I'm interested. We'll have to do a little special when we get more concrete intel
Gotcha.
on Legion. Finally, a new class
Yeah.
of Demon Hunter.
Demon Hunter. I was just like, I totally blanked on what it was.
Well, you know, it's everyone's
the
been
Illidan guys, you know.
yeah, everyone's been clamoring for this for some time.
Yes.
You know, it's obviously it's something that exists in Diablo, the Demon Hunters.
Well, no,
it's a different thing, but I mean the
Yeah, 'cause this
idea
is
of
what
it.
Illidan actually is his class, so.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool from what I've seen anyway. I like that there's like tanking and there doesn't seem to be any kind of healing, but there's tanking and DPS, which looks cool. It looks like for PvP, it'll be fucking unstoppable.
Probably.
Yeah, just from the different things you can do with it, like some attacks that attack multiple targets and disable them all at the same time. Like you like bounce between them all, bounce back to your original spot.
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
that's some serious PvP shit right there. Disrupt the whole enemy formation. Not that I've PvP'd in forever in World of Warcraft, but back in the day, the principles
Right.
are still
There's
basically the same.
That situation should arise, it would be useful.
I still miss playing Arathi Basin and Alteric Valley. They're still two of my favorites because there's just
Yeah,
so much
good
you could do
times.
with it. But yeah, so when we learn more about Legion, which I'm excited about, then we'll definitely throw it in there. One more tiny thing, they did release in the patch 6.66 or whatever it is.
Nice.
They've finally set it so you can unlock flying in Warlords of Draenor.
Yeah, I
But
heard about that.
Jesus Christ, they ain't making it easy, Pete.
It's a big, complicated
It's not like you just
thing.
buy it like you used to, or just do this quest and buy it. You got to work for it, dude. You have to get I think it's like Draenor or Lore Master or something. It's you have to
You gotta
complete.
explore the whole place first.
Yeah, there's 9 storylines. There's 9 questing storylines in each zone. You have to
Right.
complete all of them in every zone, which is a bigger deal than I thought.
Not as bad. Well, yeah.
I like the lore though, so I'm like, well, okay, whatever. I go through it and I go into a zone and then I get to 100, and then you go do the 100-y things
Right.
and advance your character that way. But that's why you have alts. So my alts can go and do the Talador stuff and then go into whatever the next zone is. And then my other one, I'm going to try to sneak into Shadow Moon Valley so that so that the levels are of the quest are commensurate with my own levels. So I'm getting XP, that sort of thing, so that the gear and equipment rewards
Makes more sense.
are
yeah.
useful rather than just selling them. But you have to do that. You have to explore all of Draenor on foot. On a mount, whatever.
Right, on the ground somehow.
Yeah. And you have to have collected over 100 treasures.
Okay. Yeah.
They have that little treasure thing in there, which isn't as hard as it seems, just because I was like, oh my God, there's good gear in these. So I was just like wanting to find them and see what they were all about. And I think there's like 1 or 2. Oh, you have to be up to, I don't know if it's revered or exalted with one of the Tanan Jungle factions, which honestly, if you do the dailies to get up the crystals you need for whatever, that's not as bad as it sounds.
Okay.
It's not like grinding for Argent Dawn rep back in the days of the Bulwark. I'm sure you remember that never-ending shit storm, that hell. I'm not even sure why we did it back then, except that it was
There's like something you could get.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a
Recipe
a
or
mat
it's like-
or a recipe.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It was something.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
That
but
was many moons ago.
many moons ago. I still remember the fun we used to have going into Undead Strat, trying to get the mount, the Baron's mount.
Oh yeah, we all went like
Just-
a million times.
Yeah, every night. You healed, I tanked, and we just tried to fucking get that goddamn mount over.
I only ever
and
saw it
over.
drop once.
Yeah. But I didn't get. But I ended up getting the Headless Horseman's mount by accident.
Oh, that's cool.
It was
Yeah,
all
how
my
many
shaman, and I was just going to because whatever the weapon was that dropped, it was better than the weapon I had. So I was like, whatever. And plus, it was just fun to do. You know, it was the holiday thing. So I was like, do the holiday thing. And no, I think it was the rings. One of the rings I wanted to get. And so I did it. And just as he was about to die, I got disconnected.
Huh.
And then I logged back in, like immediately, and I was like, oh, well, I'll just queue back up. And I was still in there, and they didn't boot me. And I got to roll on it, and I won it.
Huh.
I was like, yes. So now all my characters on that account have the Headless Horseman mount, and I'm always happy to whip that out because I am a bit of a mount dork. But yeah, so that's what's coming. And maybe we'll do a special Blizzard episode for Mixed Media Review. We can talk specifically about Legion and stuff like that, and just dork out with ourselves.
Yeah, that's cool. I was going to say something about Final Fantasy, but I don't remember what it was now.
Oh wait, well, while you think
that's right about the flying mounts in Final Fantasy.
Oh,
because with the expansion they put those in. I think you can only fly in the new zones, but you have to do a similar amount of like running around. Like you got to go, because the way they did it is like you have to learn the air currents.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Chocobo, like teach your chocobo to fly, and then learn the air currents, so that way you can fly around. Blah blah blah. And you do that by doing. I think there's 10 currents in each zone. 5 you got to find just kind of like hidden around the place, and then 5 are through zone story quests. Well,
that's a pretty smart way to do it.
So yeah, it's cool. It's not as crazy as what you're talking about.
Yeah, Warlords of Draenor. That's pretty.
Because I was gonna say, oh well, that doesn't sound as bad as how it goes in Final Fantasy, but then you kept going.
Kept going. Yeah.
This, by the way, that, and oh yeah, you also need to have subscribed for 2 years, and I'm like, what the fuck?
They had some kind of a I think it was like a blogcast or something that someone does that's closely connected to Blizzard. They said, here's a helpful guide to getting the thing. I was like, oh, okay, cool. This will be great. And
it's
they
like a 6-hour video.
Yeah. I'm watching. I'm like, holy I got to take notes. This is insane. So I just saw like, you know what? I'm going to do the quests. That's what I'm doing now. I'm just going to do all the quests. And when I'm done all the quests, I'm just going to go and just explore what's left. But the one good thing is it unlocks flying in Warlords of Draenor for all of your characters on that account.
Oh, okay, good.
So you only have to do it once, which is like a payoff, sort of.
But see, to me, like, if I still played WoW, that'd probably be fun because that'd give me something to do while I'm waiting around for DPS queues, you know.
Yeah, see, that's another thing is that I'm doing it on my Pally right now, which is tanking spec.
Okay.
Both my level 100 characters are tanking spec. So when I queue up for a dungeon, it's like
pretty effing quick.
My finger is coming off of the left click button on my mouse. Like the pressure is just enough that the click happened. It's coming up and da da da. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. And I'm not complaining. That's great because it enables you to gear up really fast. It's harder work being a tank than DPS because it's not like pew 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 all the time.
And you gotta actually pay attention to what's going on.
Yes, a lot. And you know, and with DPS, if you could be like the lowest DPS, and you could be with a really great DPS, and you're fine. But if you're a shitty tank, everyone dies.
Yeah.
If you're a shitty healer, everyone dies.
Exactly.
That's just how that works.
Yep. There are occasions where if you're a shitty DPS, everybody dies, but those are much fewer and far between.
Yeah, you got to be a raging retard to fuck it up. You got to do shit like I kind of like that sometimes in pugs as a tank because it challenges how quickly you can take control of the situation. Yeah. And as a pally tanking, it's easier because you have way more AOE shit to generate threat than you do as a warrior doing that. You just have more options to grab more shit. And you can do shit like Bubble, the fucking healer, who, I lost aggro for the 15 mobs they just pulled, and then fucking... I hate that shit. And by the time I get done typing, please let the tank pull, please, 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 it'll go a lot faster. They've already pulled the next group.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and if they have the DPS to burn them down and the healer can keep me going, I don't mind a challenge every so often. But it's kind of like a jerky thing to do it and not be like, come on, hey, we got the tank for it. We got the healer for it. Let's give it a try. If you're going to, but to be like, come on, hurry up. It's like, no, you're DPS. There are probably close to 100 billion of you waiting in a queue right now to take your spot. Please don't be cunty. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
But Rift is coming out with a new class to play. They call it a soul. That's their version of class.
Right, that's their jam.
Like you pick a soul, and then you pick your specialization through it to do whatever. That looks interesting. It's like a tribal thing.
Yeah, like some kind of shamanistic type of weirdness. I watched a video on it, and it's got a lot of diversity to it.
Well, yeah, dude, Rift is like that.
Play, because it can be whatever you want.
Yeah, anything.
You can tank, heal, and deeps.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean it actually does all four.
Tank, at
heal,
once.
Melee, and range. It's fucking nuts.
They do have kind of like a neat facet to it with the energy. The more you do, like say you do more DPS attacks, you start to go towards the DPS. The slider moves towards the DPS, giving your DPS more power and shit, and unlocking certain abilities. And like this is as you're playing. This isn't like as you're leveling. This is as you're playing.
Right.
Like you're running a dungeon with a bunch of people.
Like the resource you use.
But then, like, let's say the healer kind of sucks, or you have to do backup healing. Then it starts to go towards the other direction, giving your healing more power and shit. And that is something I've never heard of before.
No, that's different.
And that adds a whole new dynamic to the way you can play, and it enables you to, instead of just respect for this fight or anything, you can be in a fight and change to the fight.
Yeah. Huh.
So I'll be interested to check that out. Again, this is shit that we'll get more into. Maybe we'll have like a special Blizzardy MMO-y
like
kind of episode,
media.
which would be fun.
Yeah, because there's like WildStar's going free to play, and I heard Guild Wars 2 is free to play now.
I'm never going to get laid again because WildStar, the only thing that really held me back was I can't pay for this. It's good, but it's not good enough for me to play for the money that they're fucking charging me.
Too. I was like, I mean, it's fun and it's cool, but I don't need another thing to pay for as far as that goes.
Yeah, and just from what I was playing and what I was saying, it just wasn't doing it for me to pay the subscription.
It wasn't mind-blowingly amazing enough to be like, oh my goodness, this game is so great.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna
God.
just play this now.
Yeah, it wasn't doing that. And
it was not that.
Like for Star Wars, I still pay the subscription, and even Rift, I pay it. Now Rift is the only game you can play without a subscription and still basically have a very similar experience.
Yeah,
it's the only one I found
for that.
Even SWTOR, which offers a very good, you can play like your first 10 levels free, and that's a pretty decent amount of time because you're on your starting world and you're getting a feel for your character. And WoW, of course, is you're paying. That's just how that's going. But it's WoW.
Right.
It's,
you can get a trial account for.
Well, yeah. But I mean,
it's like you can't play.
No, not really.
Yeah,
but
garbage.
Like WoW, SWTOR, and Rift, just because it's a fun experience. It's for me, it's worth paying the subscription because I enjoy it that much. I'm like, hey, you guys keep putting out quality shit. I'll keep paying you once a month for this experience. It's not bad.
Yeah.
But WildStar, it wasn't there. It was good. It was neat, but you know what else we should talk about in that big video game episode? I definitely want to talk about the new shooter that Blizzard has.
Oh yeah, Overwatch.
Overwatch.
That does something.
I fell in love with that game on completely based on the trailer little movie thing they have.
Yeah, it's really well done.
Yeah, I went in skeptical like the teenage boy in that, like, yeah, whatever. And then I ended up wide-eyed. And Blizzard, I cannot wait till Blizzard makes fucking. I want Blizzard to make some movies based on this shit.
World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm fucking so pumped up to see that now. But I think Overwatch could even or maybe even like a Netflix series kind of thing. You know?
Yeah.
Because it's just such a neat world, and these are neat characters, and I'd really like to see what they can do with it. But. We'll talk all night if we talk about video games. You know what else is neat, Pete?
That's true. What's neat?
Speaking about things that video games can soak up all your time that you would ordinarily do getting laid, is getting laid, Pete. Everyone likes getting laid. Not everybody. Well, yeah. Okay, not everybody.
Wait, say everybody likes getting laid or everyone is getting laid?
Likes getting laid.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Everyone does like getting laid.
Which is not an accurate statement, but it's accurate enough for what I'm getting to next. But some people... They pay for it, you know. That's just how it goes. We call them prostitutes. I mean, the people they go to, prostitutes. And that clunky, fucked up segue takes us into this little ditty called "The Pros and Cons of Prostitution." It was just so cute on Onion, I had to bust it out. They list the pros and cons of legalizing prostitution.
Okay.
In the pro category, we have it creates additional tax revenue to be withheld from women's health care, which just made me laugh. Next one is it's a bold new frontier of Yelp reviews, which politicians caught soliciting prostitutes can boast about supporting small businesses now.
True. Good.
It would free up law enforcement agents to finally win that pesky war on drugs. It saves us from any chance of a modern reimagining of risky business. Little plus there. Probably a little easier than convincing everyone to stop.
Right.
And and one of the cons is women would have sex with men they would never otherwise have sex with for money. That's a pro, and it's the first con. Because women would have sex with men they never otherwise would have sex with for money, which they pretty much do now.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, because the guy has money, and they ordinarily wouldn't have sex with him, but he has money, so they fuck him anyway. So not too much changing.
Don't shout the norm from that as it is.
Now, on the list of cons from The Onion, the first one is sex.
Cons.
Sex is wrong. That's the first con.
Okay.
One more group we're forced to acknowledge as human beings. It commodifies women without the benefit of a 2-year contract from Maybelline. Which, you know what, prostitutes could be sponsored by different companies, though.
Exactly.
Like MMA fighters and shit like that, and NASCAR drivers.
Well, I was thinking more like... like Maybelline and stuff like that. Trojan,
birth control pill manufacturers.
Yeah, all those, all that kind of stuff. Probably a lot of the same
Monster
stuff.
energy drink.
Right, yeah. Same stuff the porn industry is sponsored by.
Hell yeah. Before a hard day of fucking, about midway through, I start to lose my energy.
Gives you wings.
Red Bull gives me wings. With legalization of marijuana and gay marriage, news outlets can't afford to lose another source of endless debate. The clients will still be terrible people, whether it's legal or not.
True.
And lastly, if we let consenting adults have sex, who knows what else they'll want to get permission to do next. And that was our friends at The Onion. Check them out, theonion.com. They got all kinds of funny shit there.
Yeah,
but that one just
good for
tickled my fancy, and it's free. Unlike getting your fancy tickled by prostitutes.
Right, that costs money and is illegal for now.
But that would be pretty weird, Pete, if they made prostitution legal.
That'd be amazingly weird.
So weird, it might even that would definitely be
definitely make the news.
Yeah, that's right, Pete. It would make the news. Hey, Pete, don't we have a segment that's dedicated just to things that are weird and in the news?
I think we do, Carl.
Why, we do, and it's called Weird News.
Whether it's people eating Pete on eggs in China or a woman who discovers her second vagina, straight from the internet, it's Weird News! Some of which is brought to you by way of Chuck Shepard's newsoftheweird.com, some from The Smoking Gun, The Raw Story, HuffingtonPost.com, and some from random sorted APR news sources scattered throughout the internet. Oh, yes, and everybody loves the internet. Let's see.
Right.
In our government section.
Yes.
The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office in Alexandria, Virginia, has an award-winning telework program allowing patent examiners flexible schedules.
Oh, nice.
Leading half of the 8,300 employees to work at home full-time, despite a 2014 Washington Post report on employees gaming the system. I know, government workers gaming the system. What?
Shocking, right?
In August, the agency's inspector general exposed several of the most ridiculous cases of slacking off, including one examiner who was paid for at least 18 weeks' work last year that he did not perform and that his manager did not notice.
What?
Well, if the manager is also at home slacking off.
Yeah, I guess that would make that difficult for him to notice.
The examiner, who had been issued 9 poor performance warnings since 2012 and who had flaunted his carefree workday to coworkers for years, abruptly resigned 2 hours before a meeting on the charges and thus left with a clean personnel record. So now he can go with all of his fake work hours.
Yep.
And legally, they can't say, hey, we can't say you're a bad reference because it was never proven.
Right.
So now he gets that. Wrote the Washington Post, it's a startling example of a culture that's also maddening. From the Washington Post, the 21st of August.
Wow.
Whistleblowers beware is our next little ditty. In April, the U.S. Office of Special Counsel ordered the Federal Bureau of Prisons to stop relocating whistleblowing employees to, quote, offices that were actually abandoned jail cells. The Bureau had insisted that the transfers were not punishment for reporting agency misconduct, even though one of the, quote, offices had no desk, computer, or phone and required the employee to walk past prisoner cells to get to work. It's from the Village Voice.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, especially like in a prison, you don't want to be all by yourself. And it's just it makes them sit in a cell with basically puts them in prison. It's just they get to walk out at the end of the day. This next one's 2PC. The president of the University of New Hampshire publicly complained in July about the bias-free language guide posted on the school's website. Since, he said, it denounces use of such words as Americans, as insensitive to South Americans,
right.
Seniors, better put as people of advanced age, rich, which should be person of material wealth, and poor, changed to person who lacks advantages that others have.
What the fuck? That's why we have one word for this shit.
One state senator mockingly suggested changing the state's credo of live free or die to live free but upset no one. That's from WMUR-TV in Manchester. That's retarded and gay.
Crazy pants. That's retarded and gay. Yep.
More government inaction. Officially, now, it is unreasonable for a federal agency, the Bureau of Land Management in this instance,
right.
to fail to say yes or no for 29 years to a drilling permit application. Before July's federal court decision, the Bureau of Land Management had been arguing that 29 years was not too long. A company had requested to drill just one exploratory well in Montana for natural gas since 1985.
Holy shit.
But the Bureau had delayed the proceedings 6 times since then. The judge ordered the Bureau to set a deadline for deciding. It's from the Washington Post in late July.
That's nuts. That's like long enough for companies to have dissolved and just kind of, which I guess is probably what they were waiting for.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, maybe they'll go away and crumble under financial strain.
Probably
just ignore this.
Waiting for a better bribe.
Yeah, right. More than likely.
Let's see. Georgia, one of 6 states that makes taxpayers shell out huge fees to access its databases of public records, tries so relentlessly to control its archives that recently, in a federal lawsuit, it said opposition to its policy was basically terrorism.
Whoa.
Activists, publicresource.org, who are some great people trying to get all this knowledge out there so we can all basically see what the government's up to,
Right.
have been establishing workarounds to free up some databases for citizen use, and Georgia demands that they stop. Georgia even claims copyright protection for one category of important legal documents that were initially drafted by state bureaucrats, audaciously calling them original and creative works.
Oh, wow.
It's from the Los Angeles Times.
That is impressive. It's so creative, though.
That, you know what? Ironically, that is original and creative bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say. Nonsense is original.
Mandatory inaction. In July, the mayor of the town of Ador, Spain, population 1,400, officially enacted into law what had merely been custom, a required afternoon siesta from 2 to 5 p.m. Businesses were ordered to close, and children were to remain indoors and quiet. That's from the local Madrid. They take it seriously over there, dude.
Yeah, for real. 3 hours of just straight up chilling.
Like, they went over, Ken and Mike Bruno and everybody went over there, because they have a lot of corrugators over there,
Yeah.
to see one of the upgrades that we had. This is some years back, and they were just like, wait, it got to be like time for the siesta. They're like, wait, I don't even understand. What do you mean nothing? What do you mean we have to stop? What's going on? And they would just fuck off for a couple hours. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This is why you can't have nice things, because you don't work hard enough. The fuck? It's ridiculous. Cruel and unusual.
All right.
Sexual assault is certainly punishable in New Hampshire by prison time. But
Yes.
pending blah, 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 blah. There goes my language. But pending legislation assumes that prison, Pete, is not enough.
Aha.
House Bill 212 states that anyone who commits sexual assault while out hunting or fishing will also have his hunting or fishing license revoked.
Oh.
That's right. They're getting real with it, Pete.
Now they are cracking down.
Big time. Big time. Because someone's sitting there with a raging heart on. They're getting ready to get in some good aggravated sexual assault. They're like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's deer season coming up. Shit. Well, I don't want to, I mean, I'm all for raping somebody, but Jesus.
Can't get your rape on in the fishing season.
Yeah, but not being able to hunt legally, I'm stopped in my tracks.
Idiots.
Let's see where we are here. Fucking hardcore Chinese is our next story.
Ah.
Because,
Can
shit.
be, yeah. Oh.
After 5 students drowned while swimming in a reservoir in China's Yunnan province,
They opened it to the public.
we've determined that water is definitely water because you can drown kids in it. Parents of 2 of them sued the reservoir's management company, complaining that it should have posted signs or barricades or even better, guards to keep kids from frolicking in the dangerous waters.
Okay.
According to an August report, the management company has now countersued the parents, demanding compensation for the additional water treatment measures it was forced to undertake because the reservoir had been polluted by their
kids?
children's corpses.
Nice.
Fucking hardcore Chinese.
That's awesome.
Kill your family and they'll kill your father and bill your family for the bullet. From the Shanghaiist.
I mean, that's one of those things that I can actually get behind. It's like, oh yeah, maybe if you were being parents and having your kids not swimming in a fucking dangerous area in the first place, then they wouldn't be.
That's
freaking-
probably what they're getting. And and it's kind of fucked up because, dead kids suck. But it wasn't the fault. It was a reservoir. It wasn't for people to play in. It wasn't a pool.
Yeah.
It wasn't an amusement park where a ride malfunctioned because of some bullshit. It was a reservoir. People need that to drink. Your kids were fucking playing it, probably peeing in it, and then dying in it. And we were happy to clean the water for free. But now, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah, because pee at least is sterile and all that. It just tastes a little funky, but
no one wants to drink
filter on that.
yeah.
Not a big deal. But yeah, nobody wants to drink corpse dead.
Yeah, your dead kids floating in there like bloated, rotting tea bags.
Kids, yeah, exactly. That's gross.
It's awful. I mean, it's awful. All of it's awful, but it's the fucking Chinese are hardcore. So
yeah, there you go.
this next one's called D is for Danger Cup.
Danger what?
Danger Cup.
Okay.
About 200 protesters gathered in front of Hong Kong police headquarters on August 2nd to denounce the 3.5-month jail sentence given to, oh boy, this name, Miss Ning Lai-ying, right on, Carl, age 30.
Perfect.
So,
Ning Lao-ying.
who was convinced of assault for shoving a police officer with her chest.
Convinced of assault?
Was convicted of assault, excuse me. Well, they were convinced, Peter, they wouldn't have convicted her.
Well, all right, fair enough. But it said that she was convinced.
Oh, well, she was. She assaulted him with her titties. Women and some men wearing bras as outerwear chanted, "Breast is not a weapon," in broken English. Ning was
not the weapon.
Ning was originally protesting the hardly sexy issue of import-export abuses between Hong Kong and mainland China cities. That's from the South China Morning Post.
Gotcha.
I didn't realize you could assault someone with your breast. It doesn't sound like a terrible way to go.
That either. Yeah, I mean, I've seen boobs large enough that they could be used as weapons of assault.
They're weapons of mass distraction. That's for sure.
That's definitely for sure.
You could. You know what? I think we should conduct some field research, Pete.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
See if we can be assaulted by boobs and just see if it is truly a danger that we should perhaps explore in depth.
I think this is a good idea.
For science.
Definitely have to make that happen. Yes.
For our country.
Yes. For science.
For justice!
And science.
And another boob-related story, 6.5
Yes.
on the nipple scale. In mid-April, a senior Iranian cleric, 'cause my brain said senior? No, Carl, senior. But it's Iranian. How can they be
Iranian cleric.
senior? Where are they from? Are they like a Mexican Al-Qaeda, Carl? Stop it. The head Iranian cleric, Ayatollah Kazem Sadeghi, warned that recent earthquakes in Haiti, Chile, and elsewhere were caused by women's loose sex and immodest dress.
Of course they were.
Immediately, Australian Jennifer McCrate responded on Facebook by urging women worldwide to dress provocatively on April 26th to create a boobquake and test the cleric's theory, either proving it or disproving. That's very scientific. And at least 90,000 women promised they would reveal serious cleavage on that date. On April 26, following a several-day absence of earthquakes, a quake measuring 6.5 on the Richter scale hit just south of Taiwan. So there you go. The jury's still out.
Yeah,
Pete, I think
it's very possible. That's pretty close timing.
Yeah, I think we should. I think it should be done for a straight month, Pete.
Yep.
Topless women everywhere, just to see. I know this is kind of dangerous, Pete.
Oh, yeah, it sounds
But
dangerous.
let's just prove or disprove this scientifically.
Yeah, we should get this. Well, we should definitely test it as often and as thoroughly as possible.
You know what, Pete? I find myself in complete agreement with you. I'm not biased by my own desire to just live in a world of titties. Because they're boobs and they're great. That's not sexist. Because girls like boobs too. Babies love
That's
boobs.
true. Everyone
Babies
likes boobs.
love boobs. How can they be wrong? Come on.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
babies. As long as they're not in a Chinese reservoir, they're fine. Come on.
Right.
Pete, got some dumbass criminals for you.
Yes. I was hoping we'd have some of those.
I
this week.
saved them towards the end because I was like, let's save the excitement till the end.
Nice.
Build to it. All right, Nathaniel
I like
Harrison,
these Dumbass criminals.
age 38, was arrested in July in a Phoenix suburb on several charges, including possession of a deadly weapon during
All
a
right.
felony. But he escaped an even more serious charge when a second deadly weapon failed to engage. Harrison reportedly intended to retaliate against a snitch and arrived at the man's home carrying a rattlesnake, which he supposedly pointed at the man, hoping it would bite him. However, the snake balked and bit him instead. So it didn't work out at all.
Didn't quite go as planned.
Would that be a misfire? I'm not sure.
Yeah, you know. And also, oh, my goodness, yeah. That's why they're dumbass criminals.
Yes. It's from KPHO TV in Phoenix.
Oh, KP.
KP, so good. Daniel Baker, age 40, and Robert Richardson, age 19, were arrested in Altoona, Florida in August after getting caught loading appliances from a vacant house.
All right.
According to the arrest...
Team?
Oh, yeah, I guess that's what you would think. According to the arrest report, both men appeared incredulous to learn that items in a vacant house aren't just free. Yes, they are dumb-ass criminals.
Wait, we can't just take this here stiff?
Oh, I thought it was free because nobody lived there. 6 days earlier, about 20 miles away, in Tavares, Florida, again, fucking Florida.
You know, the state where Florida man lives, it's a crazy place.
I can't argue that point. Corey Ramsey, age 23, was arrested for burglary when a police officer caught him sitting on a toilet in a vacant for-sale house attending to his need to poop. Ramsey's extensive petty crime rap sheet belied his explanation for being there, that he was contemplating buying the almost $300,000 house and wanted to try it out first. You know.
Got to make sure the bathroom's comfortable before you buy a house. I mean, I can see that.
Well, you know, before you shell out almost $300,000, Pete, you want to make sure the shitter is top shelf.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Top shelf.
Absolutely. If I'm going to pay that much for a place, I'm gonna test the shower, too.
Although, admittedly, Pete, it is one of the things I check. I always make sure the toilet's nice.
Well, yeah. I mean, that is something you should look into.
Well, no, you don't actually want to look into it. You just want to try it out. That was a shitty joke. What can I say? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I totally pseudo fucking bit off your joke earlier.
A little bit. That's all right, though.
It left a bad flavor in my mouth. That was a reach.
Yeah, you're stretching
File it.
there.
As long as I'm not stretching on the toilet. Oh!
Books and get out of here.
This next one's called I Fucked My Own Head, Big Worm.
Right.
Zoologists at the University of Basel in Switzerland, published recently in a prestigious British journal, reported the likelihood that a certain flatworm species has overcome the frustration of not finding a mating partner in its lifetime.
Ah, okay.
Prostitute worms, Pete.
Understand that.
The scientists believe the flatworm exploits its hermaphroditic qualities and injects its sperm into its own head, from which the sperm sometimes migrates to its reproductive facilities.
Aha. That's creepy.
Yeah. Ugh.
Well, it's only creepy if you're a human that could do that. Worms, I guess, you know.
Yeah. Well, the flatworm researchers are aided on their projects because the species' transparent bodies allow them to track the jizz, the worm jizz, if you will.
Yeah, I guess that does make sense.
Like,
to be helpful if it's like, you know, like how you get the see-through electronics. You can
Yeah.
see how it works. It's a see-through worm. Oh, look at how the jizz goes.
That's like, oh fuck, he's fucking his head. Ew, he's eating. No, he's not eating it. Oh fuck, his jizz is going through. Oh my god, he got himself pregnant. Fuck, flatworms are weird. Was the gist of the report. That's from the worldscience.net, by the way.
That is fucking weird.
And two more exciting stories here. This next one's called the Dirty Ass Olympics.
All right.
Despite repeated assurances by Olympic officials, it appears more certain than ever that 2016 boating and surfing events in Brazil's Guanabara Bay and Rodrigo de Freitas Lake will be conducted in waters so polluted with human sewage that every athlete will almost certainly be struck with fever, vomiting, and diarrhea.
Oh.
Which ostensibly would go into the lake, making it even worse.
Yeah.
An August Associated Press report revealed the water's virus levels of fecal chloroform and other viruses are as high as 2 million times the level that will close down a California beach.
Holy shitballs. Literally.
Literally. 2 million times higher.
Holy, wow.
Olympic and local officials continue to insist that the water will be safe by next summer, but as the AP pointed out, their protocols test only for bacteria and not the viruses. One U.S. water quality expert advised all athletes to move to Rio ahead of the games to try to build an immunity. Associated Press via The Guardian in London.
That is fucking nuts.
Yeah, I would just switch to a different event. But I'm not a swimmer anymore. I'm going to do the running. I'm not getting into poop water. How did the poop end up in the damn water in the first place? That much poop.
Dude, I don't even know. Like,
look, in this country, Pete, we keep our poop and our waters that we go into.
Probably just from being like having a poor, or I'm sorry, people without as much wealth as other people.
Thank you, Pete.
People keeping them. Shit, I don't even know where I'm going with this anymore.
It's a shitty situation.
Yeah, it is. It's just lack of proper
everything
facilities to clean the water, and you can get like a lot of those favela type places where people just kind of shit wherever, and shit rolls downhill. So here.
Very nice, Pete. We got all the cheesy jokes today.
And shit.
Our last story is called Sex App.
Sex app?
Yes, as in like for your phone. Among the health and fitness apps for computers and smartphones are sex tracking programs to document the variety of acts and positions, degrees of frenzy and lengths of sessions by an on-bed motion detector, and menstrual trackers aimed at males to help judge their partner's fertility, but also her predicted friskiness and likelihood of orgasm. Several have chart and graph making potential for data, noise level, average thrust frequency, duration, etc. And of course, the highlight of many apps is their ability to create a score to rank performance, even encouraging comparisons across a range of populations and geography. Sociologist Deborah Lupton's app research was summarized in the July Harper's Magazine, if you would like to check it out.
Okay.
That's from Harper's Magazine from July 2015. That would be great.
That's kind of a neat idea.
Because women are at their most receptive to advances, and the sex generally feels better for them. They're more sensitive and into it when towards the period of ovulation.
Right. Oddly enough.
Yeah, and when they're menstruating, for obvious reasons, they're not about that shit.
Right.
Some of them. Some of them are like fucking whatever.
There's exceptions to all of these things.
Yeah, I've known a few women, not many, but a few, who would be, I guess for the taboo of it, were just like, yeah, fuck me anyway. See if you would do it, and in their heads they're thinking, this is so hot, he'll fuck me even though I'm perioding all over the fucking place.
Yeah, well, I mean, in my professional opinion, that's what they invented showers.
Yeah.
And newspapers for.
What, newspapers? You're not fucking. You're not housebreaking a puppy.
Exactly. That's why you say it like that.
Bad girl. Bad girl. You just hit her. Bad girl. You go on the newspaper. On the classifieds, all clotted, and what a mess. But the towel that you keep for just that sort of contingency.
Period towel. Exactly.
Or for the girl who is the squirter or whatever. You put that down.
Got it lying around for
just to help to just diminish the wet spot, the dreaded wet spot.
But, the dreaded wet spot.
Yeah, which is like whatever. I mean, as long as it's not actual menses, I'll fucking sleep in it. I don't.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal.
It's like, dude, in like an hour or two, I'll be wanting to get that wet again anyway. So who gives a shit? Fucking whatever.
Right.
You are the wet spot, so fuck. But that is the end of our weird news, Pater.
Oh, nice. Those were some good ones.
Yeah, it wasn't so bad. We learned a lot today, Pete.
We had some good ones.
We learned that the Chinese are pretty fucking hardcore.
Yeah, man. Don't let your kids drown in a fucking reservoir. You'll get your ass sued.
Mamas don't let their babies grow up to be Chinese. Well, I guess those kids didn't.
We haven't had anything to say to China in a long time anyway, so really they had it coming.
Yeah. Damn it.
China was about due for a little That's Life podcasting.
Yeah, a little ribbing, if you will. From, yeah. See,
Yeah, see?
Take that, Mao Zedong. Yeah. I realize that you're not even alive anymore, but it's the only cultural reference I have. Yeah. 'Cause I'm an ignorant American. See, yeah.
Pretty much, because that's what we do.
Yeah, that actually is what we do, actually. But yeah, we learned about that. We learned about the long journey to flying in Warlords of Draenor.
Yes.
And that I will keep fighting. We learned that
arduous task that sounds like it is.
Electricity is the friend of industry, but it can run amok. And
Yep, and when it doesn't run, nothing runs.
Yeah, and it's total suck.
Well done.
There was. You know what? I do have a what's new. I do have a what's new, and it's electricity related. That's why I thought of it.
Okay.
So I'll throw it in because why the fuck not?
Yeah, might as well.
All right. My recent change of domestic situation.
Right.
On Christmas Eve and day after Christmas Eve-ness was kind of sort of rushed. I didn't have everything set up, so one of those things that wasn't completely done was insulation. So when things got really cold, I'd be running space heaters and stuff, and then we had that whole thing where there was the like that weird circuit breaker thing, which was right under the digital reader for the electricity, and the circuit breaker tripped and it fucked up that. So I got like 3 months of really low bills, which were not low at all. But they figured it out because they're like, we're not stupid. We provide you the miracle of electricity, dumbass. But I didn't tamper with anything. That's just the way it worked out. So they were like, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. You just owe us $1,400. So that's cool. I'm like, I will not be.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah, is that it? But hey, look, just pay us back in installments with your regular electricity. I was like, okay.
Fair enough.
That sounds like a plan. They said, give us like $480 just as, so as a down payment on it, and then we'll set up this payment plan, which I did.
All right.
And it was great. So
yeah, it sounds cool.
And then I waited for the next bill, and the next bill reflected the $480 that I paid. And
right, but
that was that was more than what the amount of the next bill was. So I was like, okay, that $480 is, that's what I paid. That's what the bill was. So I guess we're good. No, they wanted that $480. That went to the principal. I still owed them for that. So then I became like a little late on that, and because I didn't think it was a bill, I was like, oh my God, that was my bad. I'm just being stupid. I'll totally give you your money.
Right.
So then, so it was like 1 month, here's $486, and then I had to give him another $486. And again, and I was like, oh, this definitely is kind of suck. And then they sent me something in the mail. It said, okay, we're going to keep $305 of this as a sort of like a security deposit, and you'll get it back in a year kind of deal. I was like, okay, well, whatever. I'm totally going to pay. I set it up online through my bank, so as soon as I get a bill, bam, I can just do it virtually. It'll be there the next day if it's in the middle of the night, which is, let's face it, Pete, it's when I do things.
Most of the time, yeah.
But, I mean, that's cool. That's great. And I waited for the next bill, which never came. And this wasn't me being stupid this time. I swear. It just never came. So they called, they're like, dude, fuck you. Where's our money? This is bullshit. I'm like, what? So I said, look, how much is left for everything? How much money do I have to give you that'll make it so that you will give me my next bill and everything will be scrooby and great, and the only other remnants of this bullshit which will be left will be 12 months from now when I get the 305 back. Or just have it, pressed into service to pay a bill.
Right.
Whatever. It can be a credit. You can get the money back, whatever. And they said, oh, well, that would be $868 or something. Right. So I looked at my bank account, at my oh shit fund that I had just set up, like recovered from the truck dying. That was $650.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the money that was in the bank account. I was like, well, if I almost completely clean myself out, I will be able to pay this off. So I said, here, and I gave him everything. So now I got my first actual real bill for like normal electrical usage, everything normal, and it was $67. That's my actual real bill for a month of electricity.
Yep,
Yes.
that sounds about right.
And that does sound about right, because with the exception of, podcasting where I use like 2 computers and the power amp and shit, usually
Right.
I'll have at
Most
most
part.
a box fan going on me while I play one computer and look at the other. But when I go to sleep, I turn shit off. I only use the air conditioner during the hot parts of the summer when I sleep. So
Right.
for like 6 or 7 hours, I run an air conditioner on low in a small room, the small air conditioner, and I get up and go to work. And then I come back and it's a box fan. You know what I mean? So that was encouraging. That that's more of the normal payments that I'll be paying, and then that's great. So that was a what's new that I did forget.
Okay.
So it's like a mix of bad news because it's like, oh my god, $800. That's horrible.
Yeah, that sucks.
But I'm caught up on all my other bills,
Which is good.
which is good. So now moving forward, it's just normal bills. I'm paying them online like a person who lives in this time period.
Right. Like a normal fucking person at this point.
Yeah, I finally gave. Dude, I would write checks, and I just finally gave up on it. I'm like,
Checks are.
it ended up being, to set it up was just as annoying as paying a whole bunch of bills with checks.
Yeah.
But now I'm done. I don't have to do it anymore. So
Exactly.
the annoying part is done. It's all over now.
Checks are for old people.
Yeah. Checks are for old people and child support payments. That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. And I like them. I like them for the child support thing because it provides yet another documented
Yes.
form of receipt that yes, I paid this. It's not just the receipts I get. It's not just my word. It's not just the fact that I'm actually doing it, which apparently counts for nothing. It's the actual now you'll see the money,
Yeah.
the check written out to the mother, and it's all beautiful, no problems there. So I'm not doing that online. Fuck that. But yeah, so that was my what's new that I had. It's tiny, it's a mix, but there it is. It's electrifying.
It's okay. Boogie, boogie, boogie.
Oh, thank you, Pete. I can't believe I didn't go for that. I lose my mojo when I don't go to the gym, Pete. See?
I know that can happen. I've heard of it. I've seen it happen to people.
Yep. I got to get the muscles in there.
If you break the gym routine, you can lose the mojos.
I got to get in there, baby boy. Got to do this, baby. Hey, baby boy. Hey, baby boy.
You drunken slob.
Hey, baby boy. How come you didn't call me baby boy? Hey, baby boy. Hey. Oh,
Yep.
Those are some funny times. But yeah, so we learned about electricity, Pete.
Yes, all the various effects it can have on your bills, on your time at work, all of the things.
All the things that are electric we learned about. And we
Yes.
learned about boobs,
Ah, yes.
which have a certain
Some
magical
of my favorite things.
power all to themselves.
Yeah, that's the truth, isn't it?
Oh, is it true? So true. And
Yes.
now that, talking about the wonder of boobs, is how you end a Season 5 podcast.
That's right, on a positive boobtacular
That's
note.
right. Not with a bang, but with a nipple. Which brings us to... You've been listening to That's Life,
That's life.
a Baby Boy production, episode number 117.
Oh, yeah.
And thank you so much for listening. You can listen to many of these Season 2 through Season 5 episodes
Now, free.
at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/That's Life Podcast. That's youtube.com/That's Life Podcast. And Pete, we also have a Facebook page. Tell them about the Facebook page.
Over there on the Facebook page at facebook.com/That's Life Podcast, you can learn about all the fun stuff that we do over here. get notifications when we post new episodes and when we're going to be recording. So remember, kids, what is it? Facebook.com, That's Life Podcast, and give us a like and a share and spread all the laughter about all over the internet. It's like all of the face, neck, and chest area.
Oh, yeah. And if you've enjoyed what you've just heard,
because we had fun talking about it.
be sure to tell a friend, neighbor, or coworker and help us to spread the laughter as far as we can.
So, from all of us here at That's Life Podcast, this is Steve.
And Carl, bidding you an adieu, and a booby adieu.
Bye.
It's electric. Booby.